there's no check for $250 million. So he kind of went right down the list of joking. He's kidding. You're not supposed to believe any of that to be true.
It's over. Do you understand? In that profession, once you ascend to where Conor has ascended to, he's probably worth a couple $100 million. Now to set that aside, you know what? I'm gonna get it out the mud. I'm in the trenches, and I'm gonna go train, and I'm gonna get kicked in the mouth. I'm gonna get elbowed, knock my teeth out. Do you understand how hard that is?
Boxing experts are raising concerns about the potential fight between Logan Paul and Conor McGregor, urging Paul to reconsider stepping into the ring with the MMA legend. The idea of these two global icons facing off has intrigued fans, but many in the combat sports community believe that the matchup could be unsafe for Paul, given the stark contrast in experience, skill, and fighting pedigree. Logan Paul, who initially rose to fame as a YouTube star, has since ventured into the world of boxing. Known for his fearless approach and showmanship, Paul has taken on high-profile bouts against the likes of KSI and Floyd Mayweather, drawing massive audiences. While his athleticism and ability to generate interest are undeniable, his boxing record remains unimpressive, and his technical skills are still in development. Conor McGregor, on the other hand, is a former UFC champion in 2 weight classes and one of the most skilled strikers in combat sports history. His precision, confidence, and ability to perform under pressure have earned him legendary status. Although McGregor's professional boxing record is limited to a single loss against Floyd Mayweather in 2017, his extensive MMA experience and striking ability make him a formidable opponent in any combat sport. Experts, including respected boxing analyst Teddy Atlas, have warned that Logan Paul's limited boxing experience and lack of defensive skill could leave him vulnerable to McGregor's calculated and aggressive fighting style. While Paul's athleticism might help him in certain aspects, experts caution that it is not enough to bridge the significant skill gap between him and McGregor, raising doubts about whether the matchup is a good idea or even safe for Paul.
So Logan Paul's fighting Conor McGregor, but we're getting scammed since originally this fight was supposed to be Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. I don't know who got more scammed, the people that bought CryptoZoo or Jake Paul. At least we know this fight will be a harder watch than Joe Biden going up the stairs. Regardless, I will still be watching this fight. Make sure to subscribe.
Learning the subtleties of timing, distance, and strategy is just as important in boxing as having physical characteristics like height and power. While Logan Paul has shown bravery and tenacity, McGregor has refined these abilities through years of battling at the top level. He has never encountered someone with McGregor's strength and accuracy. In addition to these worries, McGregor is known for being a fierce competitor, unlike Floyd Mayweather, who was more circumspect in his exhibition bout with Paul. Paul may endure a brutal fight since McGregor is unlikely to control his aggressive fighting style, which is characterized by quick combos and continuous pressure.
Conor McGregor is due to fight Logan Paul, not to be confused with Jake Paul, in India for $250 million each. $250 million is more than Tyson and Usyk combined, not even close.
Veteran trainer Freddie Roach has cautioned that a potential fight between Logan Paul and Conor McGregor could quickly escalate into a dangerous situation, particularly if Paul underestimates McGregor's intensity. While Logan Paul holds significant physical advantages, including height and reach, experts argue that these factors are unlikely to make up for his lack of technical boxing skills. McGregor's ability to adapt mid-fight, exploit weaknesses, and land devastating strikes makes him a formidable opponent, even for seasoned fighters. For Paul, whose experience at this level is limited, this could result in a one-sided contest with McGregor controlling the pace and exposing Paul's defensive vulnerabilities. Beyond the physical risks, the potential public perception surrounding this fight could also be problematic. Logan Paul has already faced criticism for blurring the lines between spectacle and legitimate sport, and a lopsided loss to McGregor would likely intensify those criticisms. McGregor's involvement in such a bout would also draw scrutiny, as many might question why a high-profile fighter like him would engage in a matchup with an opponent perceived as unqualified to be in the ring. This could further fuel the narrative that such crossover bouts are undermining the integrity of combat sports. On the other hand, Logan Paul's resilience and promotional skills make him a significant figure in the boxing world. His ability to generate massive pay-per-view numbers ensures that any fight he is part of will likely be a financial success, regardless of the outcome. Fans are divided. Some are eagerly anticipating the spectacle this fight could bring, while others dismiss it as a sideshow that diminishes the true nature of combat sports. The stakes could not be higher. A win, though unlikely, would solidify Paul's place in boxing history and silence many of his critics. However, a loss, particularly one that is decisive or humiliating, could severely damage his reputation and hinder his chances of being taken seriously as a boxer. For McGregor, the fight represents an opportunity to further enhance his brand and showcase his striking skills to a global audience. Yet it carries the risk of being perceived as an easy payday rather than a legitimate challenge. This clash between two polarizing figures highlights the growing trend of crossover events that blur the lines between sports and entertainment. Whether this matchup becomes a reality or remains just a topic of debate, one thing is clear: the idea of Logan Paul fighting Conor McGregor has already captured the attention of the world. Since suffering a severe leg injury in his 2021 loss to Dustin Poirier, former two-time UFC champion Conor McGregor has remained absent from the competitive scene. His comeback efforts have been complicated further following legal troubles. Last month, two companies suspended McGregor from their promotions after he was ordered to pay nearly $250,000 to a woman who had accused him of rape. These developments have cast a long shadow over McGregor's highly anticipated return to the UFC, particularly after his scheduled fight with Michael Chandler at UFC 303 was called off due to McGregor's foot injury. However, whispers of a possible return to action in 2025 are beginning to gain traction. Earlier this month, McGregor addressed the speculation on X, formerly Twitter, denying reports of a fight with Toro, a rumored opponent. Instead, McGregor confirmed that he is in preliminary agreements with the Ambani family to face Logan Paul in a boxing exhibition in India. He expressed his intention to return to the UFC after this event, igniting even more excitement about his future plans. This announcement has fueled intense media and fan speculation, especially when McGregor responded to a post on X referencing a report from FightBookma.com. According to the report, a $250 million massive event and attraction potential fight was being scheduled at Mumbai's iconic Wankhede Stadium. McGregor's response, which featured an India flag and a heart emoji, quickly went viral, amassing over 1.3 million views, further stoking the flames of excitement surrounding his potential return to the ring. This news reignites memories of McGregor's last foray into boxing, which occurred in 2017 when he faced legendary boxer Floyd Mayweather in a highly publicized bout. McGregor ultimately lost to Mayweather in what was his lone professional boxing match. However, now in 2025, negotiations are reportedly underway for McGregor to take on Logan Paul in a high-profile exhibition, which could also feature an unprecedented payday for both fighters. McGregor is rumored to be set to earn $250 million for the fight, a figure that far eclipses the amount he earned for his Mayweather bout. The latter paid McGregor $30 million, a respectable sum but far less than the current figures being bandied about. Meanwhile, Logan Paul, who has built a name for himself through social media and his ventures into boxing, has also publicly stated his earnings from his own high-profile boxing bout with Mayweather. According to Paul, he anticipated making $20 million from the 2021 showdown, but has since claimed that Mayweather reneged on their agreed payment terms, leaving Paul unpaid for a portion of the agreed-upon amount. The figures surrounding the McGregor versus Paul fight are extraordinary. A reported $500 million potential payout has made waves, even though this number was initially met with skepticism. Regardless, should the fight go ahead, it would undoubtedly be a monumental event, both in terms of the spectacle and the financial payoff. The McGregor vs. Paul showdown has certainly captured the imagination of fans and the media alike, and McGregor has done little to tamp down the growing hype. He has repeatedly shared training videos and posts that have intensified the discussion about his potential boxing comeback. However, while McGregor's boxing exhibition with Paul is gaining momentum, the former UFC champion's contract with the UFC remains a significant hurdle. McGregor's contract with the UFC binds him to the promotion, and any attempt to participate in a boxing match outside of the UFC's purview could potentially breach his contractual obligations. Big John McCarthy, a respected figure in the MMA world and former referee, raised the crucial issue of McGregor's UFC contract on a recent episode of the Weighing In podcast. McCarthy emphasized that for McGregor to fight Logan Paul, the UFC would need to approve it. If McGregor tries to bypass the UFC, he risks being sued for breaching his contract. McCarthy speculated that even though McGregor could make a considerable sum from the fight, he would have to consider whether going out in a potentially contentious legal battle makes sense for him. The UFC would hold significant leverage in these negotiations, and McGregor's decision could ultimately hinge on whether the promotion agrees to release him from his contract for a one-off boxing event. Nevertheless, as McGregor continues to fuel rumors by reacting to posts about the financial figures surrounding the Paul fight, the buzz surrounding the potential showdown shows no signs of slowing down. Fans are eagerly awaiting clarity on whether this match will materialize. If it does, it will mark McGregor's return to the ring after a lengthy hiatus, following his victory over McGregor's longtime teammate Dylan Danis in 2024. The atmosphere surrounding McGregor's potential return to the UFC in late 2025 remains equally charged, with UFC CEO Dana White confirming that discussions about his comeback are ongoing. The rivalry between McGregor and Paul has already stirred up considerable interest, drawing attention from not just combat sports fans but also the wider public. This fight, should it happen, would be the culmination of years of build-up, contrasting personalities, and the desire for both men to prove themselves in a sport that has captivated millions. Whether or not McGregor can return to the UFC and navigate his contractual obligations will remain a subject of intense scrutiny in the coming months. But one thing is certain: when McGregor finally steps back into the ring, it will be an event for the ages. Jake Paul's blunt commentary has ignited a fiery debate about the legitimacy of a highly anticipated fight involving Conor McGregor, with his remarks creating doubt in the minds of fans and observers alike. The post, initially seen as a harmless Instagram message, quickly turned into a focal point for controversy and discussion, especially after McGregor's management team responded with immediate deflections. Jake Paul, known for stirring up trouble and speaking his mind, used this moment to not only challenge McGregor's authenticity but also to promote his own agenda, casting serious doubts on the so-called groundbreaking spectacle that many fans believe is coming in 2024. The central issue revolves around the nature of the fight being touted as a historic showdown, one that seems to have the potential to shake up the combat sports world. However, Jake Paul, with his characteristic sharp tongue, was quick to point out what he perceives as the flaws in the entire spectacle. He raised questions about the motivations behind the match, asserting that McGregor, once the undisputed face of the UFC, has been desperately trying to secure a fight against him through negotiations that involved MVP Michael "Venom" Page. According to Jake, this paints McGregor in a completely different light, one that many fans might find unflattering: a fighter desperate for relevance.
10 seconds.
McGregor's fight promotions have often been crafted with the kind of theatricality that can blur the lines between entertainment and genuine competition.
Really want is Conor. I'll put the nail in his casket.
Ideally, if you could have it your way, is it Nate, Tommy, Conor? Is KSI anywhere in that equation?
Well, if KSI fights Tommy, he's gonna get knocked out.
Yep.
I guess it's all kind of in the air. Time will